Anyone here wondering why I'm making this video, I'm going to quickly play you all the clips so you all can get a backstory as to what we are on about. So,
a lot of people, there are a lot of short sellers out there that have been borrowing stock they didn't have. In other words, yes, I think there are dynamics
shorts,
where retail investors can get caught.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Naked shorts, yeah. Let's go, Melissa. Let's go. Tell them how it is. We love that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this boy Sam from Art of Trading here, and today we'll be looking at NAKD, the fan favorite once again, baby. Yes, so we have had a very nice couple days of trading with NAKD stock. As you can see, we're currently 3.5% up in the pre-market, which is absolutely fantastic news. And I think today we may be able to, we may be able to hit sort of around the 87 cent mark potentially, but let's move on to the next bit. So the total volume today as of current is, well, the volume yesterday was 184.97 million, which is absolutely fantastic considering the 65-day average for the volume is 99.67 million. So the fact that we are seeing this high amount of volume currently coming into the stock just shows that us apes are all behind this, and it is looking very nice. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say that I'm in no way, shape or form a financial advisor, and please take anything I say with a pinch of salt. I'm simply a university student studying business and management, and that is all. Stocks are battlefields. Be sure to do your own research, your own due diligence for entry into the battlefield. I can only scout the battlefield for you, however, I cannot fight the battle for you. With that being said, let's move on. So a lot of you may not actually know what naked shorting is, and this is what the content of this video is going to be today. To understand what Melissa was saying on CNBC, I don't think she actually meant to say it, but you know, she said it and we're going to remember it, right? But we are going to have a chat about this naked shorting. And what is naked shorting? So first and foremost, let's give you all an update on what normal shorting is. So you have Hedgie here, you have the market maker here. So what happens is Hedgie gives the market maker money and the market maker gives Hedgie a share. So that is what a normal short is. There is absolutely no malicious intent throughout any of those transactions. It is completely fair game, and yeah, normal shorting is absolutely fine. It's then betting on the price coming down. Now, for anyone who wants to know what naked shorting is, that is illegal. And let me explain why. So, Hedgie here, he has X amount of money to give to the market maker to get X amount of shares back. However, market maker here doesn't actually have that amount of shares available that Hedgie actually wants. So instead of saying, no, you can't have that because it's not in stock, market maker here says to Hedgie, look, slip me the money and I'll give you an IOU share basis. So he gives it in a digital format. That is one of the problems with the whole digital online platform, is that they can give trades underneath the table. Oh, sorry, I knocked my mic there. Using dark pool methods and things like that, completely under the radar. So he gives the Hedgie the IOU, the market maker gives the Hedgie this IOU, which is essentially a fake counterfeit share that should not exist in a company. And the idea is that the market maker replenishes that share as it comes into stock. Now, why is this illegal and why is this malicious? Apologies about that, my phone was ringing, so I had to just deal with that a second. But as I was saying, why is naked shorting malicious and why is it illegal? Now, first and foremost, let's paint a picture here. So currently, the float of shares available for trading to the public for NAKD is currently 600.32 million shares available. So that's how many shares are available for the public to trade with. And there are currently 781.7 million shares that make up the share structure of NAKD. You can see it here. You sort of see the amount of shares here and then the share float here. So obviously the NAKD army, we estimate own, I think up to date it was something crazy, like sort of 220 million or something along those lines. Absolutely insane numbers. But you know, that is what the current share flow is, 600 million. Now, moving on to naked shorting within that context, right? So bear in mind, the share flow 600.32 million. Now, naked shorting has counterfeit shares. So technically, if we're counting dart pools within this share float here of what was supposed to be available for trading, and the amount of shares that are being synthetically created comes out to 4.3 billion. Now, do we know what's going on in these dart pools? No. Can we say for definite that is what is going on in the dart pools? No. Right? So take what I say with a pinch of salt when I talk about this, right? So with that being said, the amount of naked shorts, if we're including dart pools, could be over 5 times. Yeah, over 5 times the NAKD current share float and the amount of shares available in the market, which is absolutely insane. And with that being said, this could really erupt the price of NAKD. And it would actually make sense that this has been happening as well. Because if we go back in time, now, I'm not saying, right, that, you know, this could have been 100% what happened, right? But obviously, we saw this big spike up to $3.48, right? And this was back on the 27th of January. And this is when the stocks were flying up and that, right? And obviously this has been quite a heavily shorted stock. Now, we saw it come straight back down. And I believe this is through those synthetic shares, the counterfeit shares being like just duplicated on the market and lowering the price, like increasing the supply. But obviously the demand isn't changing because they don't have enough demand to be able to buy all of this like synthetic supply getting put up on the market. And not to mention as well the hedges algorithms. So what they'll do is they'll be listing these shares for a lot lower and having synthetic buyers ready, just lowering. So they actually keep control of the shares. But I think there is a current limit on that now, thankfully. But that's what happened back then. And that's what managed to bring NAKD's price almost down to 0.4 cents, right? Like, it was bad, right? And, you know, we recently saw it climb back up again, but that is due to the amount of volume we are seeing behind this. I think the hedges are still actually trying, because with the amount of volume that we are seeing, we should have breached $1 ages ago, in all honesty. Like, and also as well, not to mention that NAKD is an undervalued company, but that's not what we're here to talk about, right? So the fact that the naked shorting, right, is malicious and it is creating synthetic shares which don't exist is very, very damaging to the economy and the economic structure of NAKD and all the other stocks like AMC, CTRM, SNZL, and GME. All of them have this very, very heavily shorted stock, and that is consequently going to make the company bankrupt. And we're not just talking about retail investors' money then. We are talking about people's livelihoods, staff members, employees. We're talking about the company, the CEOs. Every person involved in this company is going to feel effects of this. And let's bear in mind, what on earth, like, why are they doing this? Why are the hedge funders doing this? The reason why they're doing this is because they want to get an extra lobster on their private yacht. They want to get even more billions, and they do not want the public to get rich. They only care about their own purse. And that brings me to the point of NAKD's short interest. Now, having a brief discussion about NAKD's current short volume ratio, this is the short volume ratio that is actually being told. This does not count naked shorting by any means, because naked shorting is illegal and they will sweep that under the rug as much as possible. So the current short volume ratio that is being reported is 34%. The NAKD short shares available is 1 million. The NAKD short borrow fee rate is currently 8.98%, which is amazing, honestly. And I know this has gone down by like 0.2, but that is still a very, very high borrow fee rate. Can you imagine, right? If you had a mortgage with that higher interest rate at 8.98%, almost 9% interest, you would not be too pleased, because that is a lot of interest to pay on each share, right? So that shows that NAKD should not be a shorted stock at the current moment, right? Because there's clearly a high cost to borrow, and They're still trying to double down. NAKD's fundamentals, they should not be shorting this stock, but they have so much to lose that they want to keep doubling down. It makes sense for them, but you know, it shouldn't at the end of the day, right? Like, they have a lot to lose. And yeah, that is the short volume, or the short interest that I wanted to just cover briefly before we ended today's video. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you haven't, remember to hit that like button and subscribe, and you be sure to share it as well to ensure that our NAKD followers, the NAKD apes, get to understand this channel and basically understand what naked shorting is, because I know it was trending on Twitter and a lot of people were confused when this came out of what it was. So I thought I'd give a proper explanation for everyone. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Take care, everyone.